So I actually got this question a few times. So I've just picked one of them out of the few questions that I got. They were all the same, just maybe worded differently. Are you looking to remarry? And if so, have you been approached for marriage? So first one, I wouldn't say I'm actively looking to remarry, but I wouldn't say I'm not. It's a hard one. I've spoken about this briefly, but I have been on like the Muslim, marriage dating site, oh, they're not dating sites, they're marriage sites to, find someone. But it wasn't for me. I quickly realized that after like 2, 3 weeks, I was like, nope. I did try and give it another go, but again, really not for me. I'm not somebody that likes to talk to complete strangers and talk to multiple people at once. It really felt like I was doing something wrong, even though I wasn't. So that's not for me. So again, I'm not actively searching, but if it comes, I'm not ruling it out. I think everything is written for us. Well, these major things anyway. Obviously, we have some type of say in what we do, depending on how we act and our decisions and our du'as and everything. But these major things, definitely think if it's meant to be, it will be. If Allah puts somebody on my path and I end up marrying them, then let it be. I'm not against it, and I'm not saying that this one horrible experience I had is going to affect me in the future and make me not want to remarry, because I do want more kids, inshallah, which was actually another question, so I might as well just answer it now. Do I want more kids if I was to remarry? Yes, 100% I do. I think if it was in Allah's plan for me not to have any more kids, then I would have to just deal with that. But I think it would definitely sting. I've always wanted kids. I've always wanted like a few kids. And inshallah, I do want Minnie to have siblings. I think it'll be really sad if she was an only child. She's so friendly, she's so loving, she's so caring. So I definitely think it would, she would be an amazing big sister. Oh, just thinking about it makes me broody. Also, just to answer the second half of this question, have you been approached for marriage? There has been some people, I wouldn't say approach. I don't know if approach is the right word for it, but some people that have, spoken to me about marriage and that they want to get married, but I just didn't feel that it was the right time or that they were the right person for me. I think as well, it's really hard now not to get the ick really quickly. And I know that sounds really bad, but as soon as somebody starts speaking to me now, it's like immediately they'll say something and I'm like, oh no. And that's really horrible, I know, but I think because of just the things I've been through, I see the red flags now. And I think I probably didn't see them before, but now we're getting way too deep. I think, again, this could be a whole podcast episode in itself. So I will, inshallah, be filming one soon. I want to promise, but I don't want to promise a date because it might fall through. But inshallah, if I do get around to filming one, it will be on a lot of this marriage stuff, remarrying, talking about healing, all of these things. Because I know this is like the most demanded video. So I am going to try my best. I promise you all, inshallah. So somebody has asked if my daughter stays nights at her grandparents' house. No, she doesn't. She's too young. She's not even 2 yet. I think she's way too young. Also, my daughter is still breastfed. She doesn't breastfeed constantly throughout the day, but at night still. Not through the night, but just before she goes to bed. I don't think it would really affect her too much if she wants to sleep without it, but she's just too young. She's too young. And I think that it's hard for me, but it might be hard for her. And I don't want her to ever feel like I've just abandoned her. Recently she's going through a phase where if I was to just like open the door to put the rubbish by the door or something, she would have absolute breakdown, like proper screaming at the top of her lungs. And it makes me feel really guilty. But I can't just carry her around with me. She's fine. She plays, she goes off. The thing is, if we were outside, if we were in the shopping center, she would just run off. She doesn't even look back. She doesn't care if I'm behind her or not. But she has a real thing about like me leaving the house or something like that. Although if my mum was here, she's fine. She'll probably close the door and be like, "See you later, mum. Go on now." But yeah, I think it's just too hard for her to spend the night somewhere else just yet. So I think we're gonna wait until maybe she's over two, and then even then, I don't know what age I would start, but let me know in the comments down below if you have kids and if what age they started sleeping over at the grandparents or maybe family members' house. And if you don't, why not? I think I have so many reasons, but that's again a whole conversation within. So somebody's asked if I have plans for Minnie's birthday. Yes, I do. Don't know why I hesitated with that. I do. I always have plans for something. Her birthday is actually at the end of the year, so it's in December, inshallah. I do have plans for her birthday. I don't have set in stone plans. They're not going to be big plans. They're just going to be something small. But I do have a plan. I do have a theme in mind, but you have to wait and see because I'm not giving that away just yet. She also, for her first birthday, I did rent out a hall and I had a party and everything. And I did like all the cooking and I made the cake and the cupcakes. I made everything. And it was a lot of work and a lot of money, but a lot of work. And if I had that money to spend, then I would rather take her on holiday this time round. I'd rather take her somewhere for her birthday as a treat, which I didn't actually think about at this moment. So thanks for that idea. But I think that I would rather take her away than spend it on, that. I think the first birthday, I had to do it. I couldn't not do it. It's the first child, the first birthday, everything. But for her second birthday, she does have her little friends, but they're not old enough to understand. I would do something small with like some friends, maybe their children, and something with her grandparents. But I don't think I will be doing a big party for her this year. She's still young. She won't remember. I think the first birthday was more for me than for her. So yeah, that's the answer. Yes, she will be having a party. Yes, I do have plans. But it's nothing too big and I will film it. I will vlog it. As best as I can. Of course, those are the really precious moments to me, so they're really hard to film sometimes, especially not getting used to having a camera constantly, but I will try my best, inshallah. Before having Minnie, did you want a boy or a girl? I always wanted a girl first. Don't get me wrong, I would have been happy with either. Honestly, I would have been happy as long as my baby was healthy. Alhamdulillah. But since I can remember, as long as I can remember, I always wanted to have a girl first, and I always had the name in my heart. And as soon as I was pregnant with my daughter and I knew it was a girl, all of my childhood friends was like, "We know what you're going to call her." For those who don't know, Minnie isn't her actual name. I don't really say her actual name on social media because I just, I want a little bit of privacy for her still. I feel like we're still new to social media and I don't really want to put everything about us out there. So I do call her Minnie. That is her nickname. That is what I call her most of the time. Unless she's in trouble, then she gets called by her full name. But when we're outside, I call her Minnie. And even when we go to playgroups, everybody starts calling her Minnie because that's her name. But anyway, I digress. I did want a girl first. I was so excited. I had a little girl. I did have inclinations that I had a girl. I was having dreams that I was having a boy. And I read up online, like the Islamic interpretation of a dream, say that if you dream, when you're pregnant, if you dream you're having a boy, you have a girl. And if you dream you're having a girl, you have a boy. So I kept having dreams that I was having a boy. And alhamdulillah, I got my little girl. I just remember when went to the scan and they were showing us. And she's like, right, these are the legs. And I was like, there's nothing there. It's a girl. I knew it before she said it. I was so excited. They were the most emotional 24 hours of my life. I found out I was having a girl and 24 hours, lost somebody so close to me, my granddad, Allah yarahmo. And it was the craziest. Like, I didn't know how to feel. Should I feel happy? Should I feel sad? It was just the craziest 24 hours of my life. SubhanAllah. So I would never forget the day I found out she was a girl. Never forget that feeling. Love having a girl. So glad I had a girl. If I did have more kids, I wouldn't mind having a girl boy. I would love for her to have another sister, well, to have a sister, but at the same time, who doesn't want one girl, one boy? But I don't think I would I'd be disappointed if I had another girl either. Love having a girl. She's such a mummy's girl. You know, we're best friends already, and I can't wait until she's old enough to have a proper little chat with her. Because even now, I just love sitting and talking to her like she's grown. So I can't wait until she's old, inshallah. Anyway, I've talked a bit too much on this question. They just asked me a simple question, and I've gone on and on and on and on. Okay, so this is the last question because I did get a few more, but I don't want this video to drag on any more than you do. So the last question is, if you could go back and do it all again, would you do it all? I'm assuming you mean like my marriage. Yes, I would. I would 100% do it again because I got Minnie out of it. And I cannot imagine my life without Minnie. And if I was to go back, then I already know that I would know that I would have Minnie at the end of it. Obviously, if somebody put me back in time and I had amnesia, then I just knew that if I married this person, it would go wrong. Then probably not. But if I was put back in time, and these are all what ifs that are never going to happen. If I was put back in time, knowing what I know today, I would still go through everything, every bit of pain, every bit of hurt, everything. All the loneliness, all the sad nights, all the cries, all the tears, everything to have my daughter. Because alhamdulillah, she is the greatest thing ever to me. I'm so grateful for her. And I cannot imagine my life without her. And it's so strange because a lot of people, you know, that don't want kids, they don't know what, I mean, I can't say they don't know what they're missing because, you know, if you don't want kids, you don't want kids. But a lot of people that don't want kids will never understand this feeling. And I do not know what I used to do without her. And that's, you know, she's not even been alive 2 years, but I cannot remember a time without her. Or if I can, I just don't know what I did with myself. My whole life revolves around my daughter now. Everything is Minnie. She's my priority. She comes first. Cook for her, clean for her, you know, dress her, wash her, bathe her, everything. Everything's Minnie. Take her out, go places. Minnie, 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 Minnie. I can't imagine a life without it. I can't imagine a life where there's not this little human being that's so loving and caring, pulling on my hair, sucking her thumb, and driving me insane, and touching things she shouldn't, and doing all the Minnie things that Minnie does. Can't imagine a life without her. So I would do it again 1,000 billion trillion gajillion times if I can have Minnie at the end of it. Sounds really cheesy, sounds really corny, but she's the best thing ever. Alhamdulillah, ya Rab, like, alhamdulillah. I cannot say that enough. When I look at her sometimes, I just sit there and I just speak to Allah. I'm like, alhamdulillah, thank you, Allah, for giving me the greatest gift I could have had. As much as she winds me up, because this child was here at 10 p.m., went to the kitchen and opened the fridge and looked in the fridge. I was like, trying to see what she was going to have for some midnight snack. No, child, go to bed. But those moments are what make like their childhood so great and what make us have really funny memories. I will never forget that she goes and opens the fridge as a 1-year-old thinking that she can just help herself to food. And she sat there for a while looking inside, like, what can I have? What's going to be good? I wonder if I left her, what she would have done. But anyway, that was the last question. And inshallah, I got to your question. And if I didn't, I will try do another one soon. So keep an eye out on my Instagram, which is LYFAMILY_. And I will post another Q&A at some point. Probably not for a couple of weeks, but don't forget, you can always DM me your questions. And when I do another Q&A, I can put it in. For now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications so you can get an alert on the next video, inshallah. Already looking forward to it because I already know what it is. So I hope to see you all soon. But don't forget, mamas, you're doing an amazing job.